And now it's the turn of the Unicorn Foundation Australia, so Simone Leyden is going to show us what they do and what they confront there.
Thanks, Theodora, and I know it's the end of the day and we've obviously lost a few people in the background, so that's okay. So this is just a snapshot of what is available in our state. PRT is pretty much available in each state, and I'll touch on that in a minute. Same with gallium scans, octreotide, but we don't really use octreotide anymore. Sandostatin we use, I don't know why, anyway. Lanreotide, it's all available only if you're functioning, not non-functioning. CERT is available, everolimus and sunitinib are both listed for PNET. So just a very quick overview who the Unicorn Foundation Australia is. We, like everybody else, have the same mission to assist and support patients, to lobby for access to new treatments, to raise awareness and to encourage and support Australian research in neuroendocrine cancers. So we have, I'm the only full-time person. We have a part-time nurse who runs our support line. We have an admin and a part-time fundraiser. Our executive committee, who's very, very hands-on, and I would like to thank Paul here, my treasurer, who keeps me in line and tells me what to do. We have a fabulous consumer advisory group that we formed last year. We put out a call for interest, and we have about 13 highly educated people working in the workforce. They're either merchant bankers, teachers. They've split themselves into 4 work streams under those missions of access and lobbying and research, and they go off and do their own teleconferences and come back and run programs, and they're an incredible group of people. I really couldn't stress enough about how to get patients involved in your organisation like that. We have a medical research panel, and obviously our patients and medical professionals. So just to very quickly touch on support, because I wanted to get into something else. Obviously we have our net nurse, and I just wanted to show you the graph of this is call records, and actually that February isn't even accurate. It's actually reached beyond 100 in February. So our call records are just going up and up and up, and hence why, sadly, my nurse couldn't be here at ENETS this year because we're just too busy at home. She's just is inundated. We have about 1,000 members in our secret discussion group. We run 6 webinars for healthcare professionals and patients each year, and we have everything on our website. So there's a lot of resources on there for you to use, and we love tapping into Net Patient Foundation, and sharing resources is what we're all about. So anything you need, and obviously, you know, expert doctors on our website too. So that's just a bit of a breakdown on where they come from. And, you know, my nurse also runs a healthcare professional network for NETs and trains them up and diffuses information through there. So I just wanted to quickly touch on, because it seems to be so prevalent, is the access to PRT. In Australia, we've been doing it for 20 years in PET, 10 years in about PRT, all through Peter Mack and through Fiona Stanley over in the Star over here in WA. So I came up with this model because I had the opportunity to meet with the Federal Health Minister, and we really wanted to talk about the access inequities across the state. You know, we're one country, but really, if you live in a particular area, you're disadvantaged. So I came up with a little star rating of based on the security of the funding in each state. So WA sadly only has 1 star because they're doing only anything through the Control Nets trial, which is a trial that the Unicorn Foundation is fully funding. South Australia is only 1 star. Victoria, even though we have this incredible building and the new Peter Mack and a purpose-built PRRT section, still we couldn't say it's highly secured, that funding either. New South Wales gets about $2 million in state funding every year to guarantee at least 100 patients. But I would still say only 3 stars, because if a different government came in, that could change. And Queensland is about 2. So I wanted to give this overview to the Federal Health Minister, and he's really interested in now starting the dialogue and talking about setting up a national model like they do with liver transplants, which we really don't generally do, or specialty. This comes under a specialty It's not something you can go through reimbursement at the moment, so it falls in a different section in our federal health funding. So he's really interested in now talking about how to set up a nationally funded model, because we're seeing patients in WA not being able to access it and having to come to the eastern states and paying similar numbers to what we're doing in we charge the New Zealanders. So that's just to give you a bit of an overview. So yes, it is everywhere, but we can never take it for granted. So something that we did last year, which is something that we've never been involved with before. We've only been around since late 2009, and we had the opportunity. We were approached by one of our board members, Professor Rod Hicks, who you may have seen throughout the ENETs, to help convene the 4th World Theranostics Congress. This is a fabulous conference that obviously Josh has been involved with since the start, probably even started it. So we had the opportunity, since the start, we had the opportunity to take it to or look after it within Australia, which we were honoured to do. Obviously, it was a bit nerve-wracking because we are a small charity organisation. We couldn't afford to lose any money on this conference, but we felt so passionate about getting the latest research in not only NET with PRT and PET and all the different things they're doing with FEOs and paras. It's incredibly out there, but also that they were going to dedicate a whole day to prostate too. So we also realised that in order for NETs to really try and secure funding, get more awareness, we have to join forces with the prostate. And I've started a relationship with the Prostate Cancer Foundation in Australia, who is a very powerful lobbying organisation. So we're sort of partnering with them, if you like, at the moment in order to get the best access for our patients. So it was a really highly, I think, Josh, you'd agree, it was a highly successful meeting. We had over 400 delegates from 25 countries, and this, when you really think about it, this is a very specialty around the world. It's not an oncology meeting, for instance. This is a very, specific area. We were able to get local media. We actually also paid for the abstracts and the presentations to be published in, which I'll find out when that actually is happening. But we also videoed every single presentation that's actually available on our Unicorn Foundation YouTube channel. And there's some, I know sometimes it's like, I had to sit through 3 days of it. But there are some interesting things, and you can go through and actually choose which one of your interest. What I found especially interesting because I'm very much involved at home is in health technology assessment. Not only the patient voice in health technology assessment, but how we can get novel treatments such as PRRT assessed on par with these other big pharmaceutical drugs, because they have to be assessed separately, and you know that, and this is all the problem with the Cancer Drugs Fund. So one of the speakers, and I find if you've got the opportunity, was Dr. Hans-Georg Eichler, who is the Chief Medical Officer of the European Medicines, and he does obviously the assessments. He actually it was sponsored by the Victorian State Government to come out, so we did get some government support so that they'd have a bit more. It's all about playing it and trying to get government to really understand this. He did a fantastic presentation about, obviously the changes that we need to make with randomised clinical trials, because we're just not going to get the numbers that they expect with these health technology bodies. So that I would.
I want to add that he really said that just having anecdotal evidence on a retrospective clinical trial is not useful. The plural of anecdotal is not evidence, and that's a really big thing, because we have a lot of 20 years of case histories of PRT, but none of it's randomized, and that was a big point.
Yeah, so we have to be clever about it, and we have to work out what else to do, and that's why he did take a meeting actually with the state government to talk about options. We also had at the meeting Therapeutic Goods Administration, which is our TGA, the equivalent to FDA, there as well, to really try and understand this. So we really wanted to bring this meeting to life so that we could secure funding, in the long term. So it was luckily through a lot of hard work and selling of sponsorships and obviously with the numbers, with the registrants, we were able to make a profit for the organisation, for the Unicorn Foundation. So it was our way of sort of a bit of a fundraiser as well, if you like. But it was also a two-prong, which we were more interested in the fact that we wanted it to have exposure and to have the right people there than we definitely didn't want to make a loss on it anyway. So was I quick, Siobhan? Yep, I'm done. So that's me.
Yeah, they're held every 18 months to 2 years, given some logistic things. The theranostics will be
South Korea.
in 2019. And we used the third Theranostics Congress in Baltimore 2 years ago, whenever it was, to actually invite the FDA. And that's how we started getting guidance with the to the front of the line. Because, we blindsided the FDA on one set of meetings.
Can I just quickly say that with that, Kathy, is in my closing comments for the whole conference, I actually put up a slide and I sent it around to the board and I couldn't find it. But anyway, I put up a slide of where all the delegates came from on a world map and then where all our INCA members and patient groups are. And I did say to them, and I made a point of it at the very end, is we as patients can be your biggest advocate for access to treatments and to diagnostics and that sort of thing. So if you can see there's no dot on the map where you come from, try and, partner with a patient or try and partner with try and start up even a patient organisation. So it might have fallen on deaf ears, but I did try.